time for all things Sparty. From a record-setting start to another Sweet 16 invite, we bounce back through the hoop season and look back on the amazing career of Drew Neitzel. On the women's hardwood, East Lansing's newest merchant tries to sell her team on what it takes to win, while a super soft continues to host her own personal block party. It was anything but business as usual on the football field. How this rookie head coach turned his program upside down and found success on the other side. The coolest moments, the biggest splashes, the shots to savor, all on the way now as part of this Michigan State Year in Review edition of Big Ten Tonight. The 2007 football season marked the start of a new era at Michigan State. Mark Dantonio brought not only a proven track record, but also a reputation as a no-nonsense disciplinarian to a program which had suffered through more than its share of off-the-field issues. Still, Dantonio's focus was clearly between the white lines, and his intensity was revealed at his very first press conference.
Thanks, Coach. No, history is the best indicator of the future, and it's been done before, and there's tremendous love for Michigan State University, and I know, guys, this state is split right down the middle. And if it really were to be known, it's probably a lot more green, and it's getting a lot more greener today than it was yesterday. As a coach and as a player, I think you always want to challenge yourself to be the best, and that's very exciting to me. That's one of the reasons that I stand here today.
Let's get this goal, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it going. It doesn't matter. Michigan State wins.
Be prepared. I guess history's on our side.
Hoyer fumbled it. He's going to pass it. And he goes for the end zone. And he's got the touchdown to Kellen Davis.
It's something I remember for the rest of my life.
Momentum stunner that was. And the hits keep coming. The Northwestern Wildcats in overtime have defeated the Michigan State Spartans.
Well, you know, life's full of disappointments.
Thomas at the bottom and Hoyer looking for the pulse. For Thomas. Touchdown! Spectacular catch!
We'll play for respect. Do well next week, too. We'll play for respect.
I think that's one of the reasons you come to Michigan State is playing games like this.
Action pass. It's Wells trying to cut it outside. Touchdown, Ohio State. A chance at bowl eligibility on the line for Michigan State. And Iowa's going to win it in double overtime.
Whether it's for a 9-year-old's heart, whatever it is, we're going to compete against the people down the road every single day.
Cochran. Touchdown! That might be the first smile on Mark Dantonio's face in a couple of weeks. Kenny going to lob it to the corner. Michigan State. Touchdown Manningham. There, and the Michigan State guys can only head to the locker room knowing that they had a chance. They had them by 10, and they couldn't hold on.
You know, sometimes you get your little brother excited when you're playing basketball and stuff. Let him get the lead. And then you just come back and take it back.
It's hard to have a little brother. Or is he the little brother? I don't know. It's not over. It's just starting.
And Michigan State in prime business right now.
Jim, what's one thing you can take away from this game that you can apply next week against Penn State?
Win number 6.
Michigan State able to hold on after the comeback and move to 7-5 on the season, and perhaps going bowling.
Well, Mark Dantonio is a man of few words, but his impact shown by the numbers alone. Michigan State scoring almost 8 points a game more than they did the previous year. In terms of total offense, Sparty improving by 60 yards an outing overall, nearly 70 yards a game on the ground. Our Big Ten Network football crew joins the party now with their take on Dantonio and the Spartans.
So year one under Mark Dantonio ends with the Spartans in their first bowl game since 2003. Dave Revson with Jerry DiNardo and Howard Griffith looking back on the season. How would you assess the impact of Dantonio year one?
Well, we need a script to assess his impact, and we had the perfect script. They had to get off to a fast start, and they did. They were 4-0. Then they were 5-2, and then they lost to Ohio State. They lose to Iowa in overtime. They lose in a very physical, tough game against Michigan. So they lose 3 in a row. They've got Purdue left, Penn State left. We've seen this act before. Do they fold, or do they go through the season as a winner? They win the last 2, get bowl eligible, all Dantonio.
And the best part about it is people are not saying this is the same old Michigan State. We expect them to fold when things get hard. You go back and look at that Michigan game, and it was a tough-fought game that they ended up losing. But I love the tenacity that the team had, particularly a head coach pointing at Michigan, wanting to beat Michigan, saying that this is the standard that we have to set for ourselves. This is going to be a great time if you're a Michigan State fan going to next year.
All right, well, let's talk about next year. Now, here's a team that lost all of its games by a touchdown or less. 6 losses by a combined 31 points. They've lost 8 straight games now against the AP Top 25, Howard. What does it take to go from, hey, we're back, we're a solid bowl team, to that next step to being an upper echelon team in this league?
Well, they have to learn how to win those close games, and those come down to some of the little things. When you go back to that Northwestern game, that was a game where they were really tackling, and particularly in the secondary, at a high percentage. That game, they couldn't tackle anybody. The game got away from them. One of the things that happens when you're trying to change the culture is you have to work on the little things. You get in tough situations, you're going to find out what your team is made of, but as long as they continue to work on the small things and work on tackling and continue to understand and buy into what the coach is telling you needs to be done to become a champion, this team is headed in the right direction.
Yeah, I think the culture has started to change, and I think, like you two, have no doubt that the culture will ultimately change. But second-year programs, the year after the apparent turnover, there's a lot of different challenges. I'm not so sure they can be as successful in 08 as they were in 07 because you have different issues. You have guys on the team that haven't really totally bought into the team concept if they're not playing. It's easy to buy into that the first year. The other thing is they open the season at California. That's a tough open. And the last thing is their recruiting. If you look at their recruiting class, it was Michigan and Ohio. That's where the great majority of their signing class came from. I'm not sure you can be an upper echelon team only recruiting the Midwest. I asked Mark Dantonio about this at spring practice. He says he wants to watch the kids play, meaning he can drive to the games. He wants to work with them, meaning they can come through his camp. Yep. But he does want to expand. And I think you have to expand to be an upper echelon team.
All right, well, that in the long term is the plan for Michigan State. In the short term, how do you replace Devin Thomas? How do you replace Kellen Davis? How do you replace Caleb Thornhill, Jonell St. Deke? Those are the questions in front of Dantonio as he heads towards 2008.